Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yvette if you don't know me, and today we're going to be talking about how I landed my first cybersecurity internship with no prior cybersecurity experience. So this video I'm going to be sharing tips of how I landed my first internship, how I went about it, and what I would advise you as well, whether you are a national student or an international student. A little bit of background about me. I started my graduate degree in August of 2021, and I did my master's in cybersecurity management. So in my first semester, as someone who didn't know what cybersecurity on a deeper level is, my first semester was really a good opportunity for me to kind of deeply understand what it is and what kind of career types that I would go in if I were to graduate in this degree. So of course I took classes like Introduction to Cybersecurity, which was definitely my favorite class among all of them. I had a great professor, had great professors for other classes as well. So with that knowledge from my intro to cybersecurity and the other courses that I was taking, which were like risk management, which is a very important class, human aspect of cybersecurity, all of these are really key classes that really helped me understand a little bit more about cybersecurity. But then what ended up happening, of course, I wanted to really understand, what is waiting for me in real life, what is waiting for me out there once I graduate. And for that, I turned to internships. I discovered that, of course, the only way for me to really understand what I could be working on, or to even understand what career path to take, it was time for me to find a way to do an internship so that I may be exposed to real life problems and real life industry experience that will help me and guide me towards making a career choice later on. So of course this video is about my internship experience, so that's exactly what happened. During my first semester, with the few courses that I was taking, I decided to go ahead and start applying for internships. I know maybe what you're thinking about, like, were you qualified enough to even search for internships? And the answer is no, I wasn't qualified enough, but I went ahead anyway. So I started applying, and by taking a couple of minutes every day or every other day whenever I had time to apply. I used job boards like Indeed, Zipia, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter. I used a lot of them, and I tried to really look everywhere to see wherever they were looking for people who really didn't have prior experience. So I, of course, submitted a bunch of applications. I was reading the descriptions and making sure that, of course, they don't need a lot of experience. And if they didn't need a lot of experience, then I would go ahead and submit my applications. And right now, I don't remember actually how many applications that I did, but I can assure that it's a lot of applications that I did. And most of them were really rejected, which is definitely understandable because I didn't have relevant experience, because I didn't have experience in cybersecurity. So one key factor that I also want to mention here is that, of course, I did not go and look for opportunities in these big companies, because these big companies are so competitive, and with somebody who didn't have experience in cybersecurity, I really didn't have anything to show for it. But I wasn't targeting the big companies, I was targeting any company. Honestly, I was targeting any company that could give me the chance to expose myself to real life problems, real life cybersecurity problem solving. That's what I was looking for, really. It wasn't anything too big. I was open to anything, and I feel like that's also what really helped me in this way, because this was my first semester. I think that motivated me a lot to just look everywhere and anywhere where they could give me an opportunity, anywhere they could give me a chance. I was open to that, so that I can be exposed to real life like work experience. Talking about resume and experience, I want to explain a little bit how my resume was at the time and how I positioned it so that at least I can apply for these roles. So my resume had 2 prior internship experience and 1 full-time job that also was not related to cybersecurity. So all of these internship experiences were not related to cybersecurity, but it was key factor to incorporate them in my resume, because at the end of the day they need you to show that you have some experience somewhere where like at least your experience is closer to being related to cybersecurity. So specifically about this role that I'm talking about, I did almost, I believe, 2 rounds of interviews. But anyways, I first had a phone screening with HR, if I'm not mistaken, and then the second one was also a phone interview with the manager, where they asked me some few questions before proceeding. So let's go ahead and talk about the preparation for the interview. So as somebody who was in their first semester, really all I had was my courses that I was taking and the concept that I was learning during that time. So everything I had learned, I was thinking that of course if I ever get to even have a call for an interview, that's exactly what I was going to be talking about. I was going to be talking about what I'm currently doing in my classes, and you know what I hope for to gain in my internship. So when it came to interview preparations, I really did not have much of outside resources to look for, except the courses that I was taking and the knowledge that I was getting for my courses. And I think I already mentioned the courses that I was taking. I was ready to talk about mainly what I was learning, because really that's all I had in my hands and that's all I could talk about, because I didn't have any other relevant experiences. I think later on I might do a video about interview tips and how to prepare, and you know, the questions to ask and things like that. So yeah, I might do a video on that, but that's exactly how I went about this interview. One thing that was so remarkable about that interview that until now I remember, the hiring manager gave me kind of an assignment to do, and being hired for me was dependent on me doing that assignment. One of the other questions, of course, that I remember that they asked me was why did I want to intern with that company. So that's something that of course you always have to do your research and understand why you want to intern at that company, and that can involve many things. It can involve the company culture that they have. So really the right thing to do is to go to their website and kind of understand who they are, what they do, and kind of like do your homework before the interview, so that you know they see that you have also taken time to learn about the company and what it does, and that you are ready to join them if given the opportunity. So finally, I want to end this video by saying I finally got the internship, but I ran into one problem, and really one problem was related to being an international student. So what happened is that since I got my internship offer at the end of the semester, towards Christmas time, I wasn't able to join the company until January next year, and that's something that that happens for us international students, since you can only do the internship while school is in session, not in holidays. So I'm going to end this by sharing a few tips that I would give to people who are looking for their internship, whether in cybersecurity or even in other roles. So the first tip that I would give you is to start early. I started when I wasn't qualified, and I acknowledge that I wasn't qualified for the position at all, because I was still taking my first semester courses. But with that knowledge, at the end of the semester, finally when I got the interview, I was able to talk about the things that I had learned. And of course I was honest with the hiring manager. I told them, this is what I know, this is where I'm at when it comes to cybersecurity. So that honesty and telling people where you're at and not overselling yourself will definitely go a long way. But definitely start early. Don't write yourself off by saying that, you know, it's too early or you don't have the skills required. I would urge you to start early, whether you have the skills or not. When you have the interview, you can let them know what skills you have, and then they might be able to work with you. The second tip that I would give you is to network, whether it's at the university or even on LinkedIn. At the university, because sometimes professors know about internships that, you know, may be open in nearby companies or companies that have a direct relationship with the school. So I would definitely encourage you to ask your professor about internship opportunities, or if they have heard something, or if they can connect you with someone who would know that type of information. I feel like this will go a long way when it comes to landing your first internship position. The third tip that I would like to share, which actually goes hand in hand with the previous one, when it comes to professors, I would also encourage you to, of course, perform well in class, because obviously if you're performing well, if you are, you know, if you are working hard in the class and the professor is seeing that you're putting so much effort into understanding the materials and doing your homework on time and asking questions and being overall curious about the class that you're doing, this will go a long way when it comes to giving you a good image in front of your professor, and your professor may even go out of their way to help you find an internship position, or even refer you to some place if they hear something. So I would encourage you to always work hard in your classes and make sure that you speak to your professor and express this interest. Express to them that, you know, this is something that you would be interested in, so that they also know that, you know, in case they encounter some information or some information about internship opportunities, so that they will have you in their mind when it comes to referring students as well. The fourth tip I would give you, of course, is to prepare well for the interviews. One of the things that I always did whenever I would have an interview is to kind of go over the job description and kind of making sure that you kind of ask yourself questions that may arise with that job description. So tip number 5, which is the final tip that I would like to give you guys, is that rejections are part of the process. In fact, if you don't see any rejection, I don't think you have applied. Honestly, I'm not even lying to you. Rejections are like this and interviews are like this. Literally, rejection is part of the process. Don't be discouraged because you have applied to 30 jobs and already 20 of them have rejected you in the next 1 to 2 days. Some of them even reject 1 hour later sometimes. If you are rejected, don't be discouraged at all. Everybody goes through that. It's part of life and it's part of the learning process. And you know, persistence is key. Knowing that things are not easy, good things that are worth having are not easy, will help you persevere in your internship search process. So I urge you to not be discouraged by rejections. Keep trying, and eventually one of those interviews will be the right one. So that was my tip number 5. Stay tuned, guys. I will be talking about other topics related to cybersecurity or entry-level jobs in general. So if you're somebody who is interested, make sure to subscribe, to like this video and share this content so that other people can see this as well. And if you have any suggestions of the video you would like to see on my channel, please let me know in the comment section below, and then I'll be happy to make those videos. Thank you again for watching this video. I hope it will help you. I hope the details that I've given in this video are helpful to you and that they will help you land your first internship. So good luck to everybody. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.